Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Kira the Doll back with yet another video. So as you can see, it is yet another recap. For today, we're gonna do Joseline's Cabaret. So I wanted to start off by saying this episode was pretty entertaining. I feel as though the season will be as well. I'm also very happy with the amount of dark skinned women on this show. I just wanted to put that out there. I feel like this was definitely the wet wet show. She adds the dramatics that every show needs, and she is a great complementary to Joseline. The only downside of the episode is that it was a lot of unnecessary fighting. I'm not an advocate for fighting. I understand self defense, and if it was a purpose behind the fighting, but pretty girls shouldn't fight. However, they should be able to defend themselves. So basically, unnecessary fights are pointless. The girls are very catty. I guess they being territorial, you know how it goes. But I'm not even gonna lie though, that voodoo doll is starting to scare me. And also, Andrea Guard is real funny. She looked like a fighter in one of them games that be like round one, fight, and they used to be having their guard up ready to fight. But I feel like Andrea and Danny just wanted to reason to fight Wet Wet overall. Like they didn't have a true reason. Yeah, she said what she said, and y'all had the back and forth. But I feel as though they just wanted a reason to fight Wet Wet for whatever reason they don't like her. Basically, it's a petty ass fight. So I also get the vibe that Jocelyn don't really fuck with Wet Wet either. But I think what it is, I think Wet Wet just be too hyped sometimes. I don't think she gonna do good as the house mom because the girls don't respect her already. Now the new girl versus Andrea beef. The new girl pick up Andrea wig and she said it stunk and Andrea snatched it and she was mad. How you mad that she got mad that you said her wig stank and she was fighting? Like, what you think you invincible? What you think you can just say anything and nobody is gonna get mad at what you saying? So basically, at this point, the new girls is popping it. The new girls are very confident and they tell the OGs that they have competition. So yet another fight, and these two new girls are fighting over what? What could it be? What do you guys think? Yes, you guessed it, a man. The same typical high school everyday situation for nothing, over nothing, a no good beep. But y'all, I was looking at Raven like she looked like Tweety Bird type. But back to the story. So now Jocelyn want to get on Wet Wet. Like Andrea didn't sneak her. So it's just like Jocelyn, is you gonna make them give the house mom respect, or you gonna be on the girl's side and be like, yeah, whoop that hoe? So then it's the next day, and it's the rematch with the new girl versus Andrea. The new girl ended up peeing on herself. I'm assuming it's pee because it's water on the ground, but it's water like the wet spot is perfectly centered where you know what will be. So I really don't know, but it looked like what it looked like. Half of the time you can't see the fight like that anyway, so it's just like what's the point of them fighting? Then most of the time the big talkers are all bark and no bite. They do so much arguing just to be able to barely keep up in a fight. These fights be so redundant, and I feel like fighting culture on TV is going to get boring sooner than later. It's too repetitive. Plus, half of the time, the fights are so short, fast, and just unnecessary. They could have stayed looking nice for all of that, for the whole lot of nothing. The fight that made the most sense was the girl fighting for Jocelyn respect, even though this girl obviously wanted camera time. The new girl, Jayla, fought a few people. One fight she jumps in because Danny and Andrea wanted to jump once again. Then she fights the girl about Jocelyn respect too. Then Danny, her wig gonna look like Wanda off a Holiday Heart every fight now. I personally feel like Wet Wet did a good job addressing beefs, better known as instigating. Cause Wet Wet, what did you really do? What resolution did you have in mind? Basically, it went down on the bus. It was so much conflicts. So at this point, everybody is really getting on the BBW girl Monica for being reserved into herself. I feel like there's nothing wrong with being introverted, but you have to know what spaces are for you and what are not so that you're not left feeling uncomfortable. But the editing is top tier. The house is top tier. The house is nicer than any house I done seen on Baddies. I know the last recap I kept saying Baddies, Baddies, but I was like comparing it, but this is so much better. Like this house is nice. So by this point of the episode, Jocelyn been chewing Wet Wet out for damn near the whole episode. I guess Wet need to learn how to be less confrontational and more respectful when being assertive. I really don't know. But Jocelyn been chewing her out. I feel like Jocelyn kicked Wet Wet out because she don't want her getting too comfortable and stepping on toes. But the way Jocelyn dragging Wet Wet name to the girls, there's no way these girls are gonna respect Wet Wet. Jocelyn just making it worse and creating an environment for drama to ensue because she's allowing herself to be the root of drama, as well as gossiping about Wet Wet to the rest of the cabaret girls. Jocelyn then locks the door. To be honest, Jocelyn seemed like she don't mean no harm, but I don't think I could be around her because she disrespectful. Sorry, but not sorry. It's like I understand the seriousness, but she be off her rocker. So y'all, why the police show up? Jocelyn said, "Everybody, get in your rooms. Get in your rooms." Yo, Wet Wet was out there doing too fucking much. She was on that grass acting a fool. These them white folks out there really thought something was wrong. They done called they done called 5-0. But this was a lot of funny moments this episode. Wet Wet crying is so funny, but it's not. I feel like I shouldn't be laughing at this, but I couldn't help myself. That girl feelings is really hurt, y'all. Jocelyn random anger spurts seems due to her being serious about the show and wanting to execute with the quality that she is, because this show is top notch quality. So I feel like when she see the girls being childish or not taking it seriously, she gets upset. I'm not trying to make no excuses for anybody, but I'm just trying to understand people's train of thought. Overall, it felt as though Jocelyn wanted to make almost an example out of Wet Wet. I guess because there's new girls, maybe she wanted to show them how she gets down, but I didn't feel like making Wet Wet the target was justified. Like Wet Wet said, this is her third season, so at this point she deserves respect from Jocelyn at the least. And also, Wet Wet stood up to Jocelyn and told her that you even said at your mouth that you were going to get my teeth fixed, basically calling her out on her shortcomings. But then Wet Wet and Andrea squashing her beef was really something else. But honestly, I feel like Wet Wet is battling with a lot, and it be the people you least expect battling the biggest challenges. A lot of the time people become strong by nature and have no choice but to hold their head high to the point that people think they're being cocky or too much. They doing Wet Wet dirty. She's the laughing stock, and I feel like she may be a target of the show, and they think she's an easy target. Wet Wet is really funny. I'm not gonna hold you. She gives New York vibes, the HBIC. It's given. I need an example. Any example. I choose you. What's what? Jocelyn almost reminds me of a grown up version of Stunner Girl because that mouth on Jocelyn go crazy. But it's like I don't know if I can blame her. How else are you supposed to earn your respect with people? You can't never get comfortable, especially around a whole bunch of females. They tend to almost always get froggy. So who do y'all think should get eliminated next week? I feel like it's a hard decision. I feel it'll be easier at the end of next week, or like, during next week's episode, because we haven't really seen each girls, and we haven't really got really a lot on all of the girls. We just seen a glimpse, and that's why I said 13 girls is still a lot of girls for a cast. But yeah, let me know y'all opinions down below. I appreciate every last one of you guys for watching. I'll be back next week. See you guys. Bye.